In this video, we will learn how to draw a bacteria in Adobe Illustrator. So first off, let's make sure that you have the correct setup. You should have two columns over here on the left. If you don't, go up to Window and click on Toolbars and click Advanced. You should have a toolbar up here on top. If you don't, go to Window and click on this Control. Also take a look at what you see here on the right, and all of these should be added here. If you don't have that, click on Window and just click on the appropriate ones. If you see colored, click on it and drag it over here. Okay, so let's start by creating the capsule. So I'm going to click on this rectangle tool and I'm going to draw it about, I don't know, about that big. And then I'm going to drag these all the way in like that. And let's make the outline black, and let's make the stroke size as 4 points. And click on stroke and make sure that it shows align strokes to the center here. So I clicked on this little stroke thing and I said align to the center. That aligns the stroke to right in between the path. See, the path is right in the middle and it colors the stroke equally on both sides. Okay. So now I'm going to draw a circle right here. So this is the outside, and then I'm going to draw a circle right here. So click and hold, go to the ellipse tool, and I'm going to go right here to where it says intersect. Click and hold, and then hold the shift key, drag it all the way out until it completely goes to the outside of that outer region here. Okay, and now I'm going to select these two objects and I'm going to go here to Pathfinder and click divide. Okay, so what that did is, and then I'm going to right click and ungroup. So it created a circle and then it created this outside right here. So let me fill this in. I'm going to fill it in with a lighter orange, and you can see that this circle is a completely different object now. But if I drag it out, I'm going to delete this and then delete that. And so you see, so what that divide did is it cut it into two paths, and there's a little bit left over here on the left. Okay, so this will be important when we overlay the different layers. Okay, so I'm going to drag this all the way back till it snaps back into place. And I'm going to click the I button on the keyboard, and with my left mouse button, I'm going to click here to make it the same color. Okay. All right, now I'm going to do this. So that is the capsule, and the next thing I'm going to do is create the cell wall layer. So I'm going to hold I selected both of these objects here, hold the Alt key, and I did that by clicking and holding with my left mouse button and then releasing. Okay, I'm going to hold the Alt key and drag it up here away from this object here. And I'm holding the Alt key and spinning my mouse wheel to change the zoom. Now I'm going to click the direct selection tool and I'm going to select these points right here. So notice that it only selects these 3 points, and I did not select those points over here. So now I'm going to hold the shift key and press the left arrow button. Now I could press the left arrow button without holding the shift key, but that movement is too slow. So hold the shift key and press the left arrow button, and that does larger movements. We're going to go about like that. And I'm going to drag this down. And I'm going to hold the shift key and drag this to make it smaller. Now if you're having trouble making it smaller, if it's preventing you from doing that, so press the S key and then press enter and make sure scale corners and scale strokes and effects is clicked. Okay, I'm going to click the selection tool. I'm going to drag it into the center Looks pretty good. I'm going to change this to brown for the cell wall. Let's do a lighter brown. And then I'll hold the Alt key. I'll click away out of that color menu. And I'm going to hold the Alt key, drag it away. Then I'll hold the Shift key and shrink it down a little bit more. Okay, looks pretty good. Maybe center it a little bit. And I'm going to change it to a lighter color. Okay, I'm going to click on this circle. I'm going to hold the Alt key and left mouse button, release my left mouse button, release Alt. Then I'm going to hold the Shift key, click with my left mouse button, bring it down in size a little bit. This time I'm going to change it to this is going to be the cytoplasm. So I'm going to click this blue for, I don't know, water or something. All right. To make sure all of these things are centered, I'm going to select all of them. And I'm going to go up here and center align. That makes sure everything is perfectly aligned. And this thing looks like it's closer on this left side than it is on the right. So I'm going to move the arrow key to make sure it's nice and centered. The next thing I want to do is to draw all the pili. I guess if you're going to call it that. And so I'm just going to go over here to the pencil tool. You probably see something like a shaper tool right there. Just click and hold my left mouse button and then click the pencil tool. And I'm going to remove the fill with that little diagonal red line. And black is fine. I'm going to change the stroke to, I'm going to make the cap round and the corners round. And I'm just going to draw some wavy lines. Keep in mind that this is making this three-dimensional, so as it's going around, you're changing the angle of those pili. And they don't have to be perfect. Oh, see, you can redraw. If you mess up, you can redraw those lines. Completely mess this line up, you can redraw it like that. Okay. All right, we're gonna make this a little stylish, a little more stylish. So I'm gonna click on one of these, and I want to select all of these pili. So I'm just selected one. Go up to select, same appearance. So see how it only selected those that have the same appearance. I'm going to make them larger, maybe something like that. And I want them to have a black outline with an orange fill. So to do that, I'm going to go up to Object and Expand. Make sure Fill and Strokes are selected and click OK. So now it's converted those lines, those paths, into shapes. Okay. So I'm going to create a black outline, and then we're going to choose a slightly different color orange at this one right here. Let's go to 2 points. See, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to draw the flagellum. So I'm going to go back to the pencil tool. And I'm going to start back here, so don't go all the way to the edge, start back here, and draw some smooth wavy lines, just like that. And then we'll draw another smooth wavy line. Let's make it go up and above, so I'm going to hold Control and press Z, and I'm going to go like this, something like that. Click on the selection tool. Hold the Shift key and click on this other one and increase the line thickness to, I don't know, we'll make them thicker. Let's make them 9. And make sure that the stroke shows round cap and round corners. Now what I want to do is I'm going to move one of these out of the way because I don't want them to overlap. Hold Shift and click these two. And again, object, expand. Okay. And then I'm going to click the eye button, which is going to change my cursor to the eyedropper. And I'm going to click one of these. Go back to the selection tool. Click over here. You want to make it look like they're coming from the same region. I'm going to select both of these. Right click. Arrange. Send to back. Okay. All right, now we're going to create the cytoplasm of the bacteria. So I'm going to hold the Alt key and spin my mouse wheel. Let's draw the DNA first. So I'm going to click a pencil tool, remove the fill, and we'll keep it black. You want to draw kind of wavy like this, something like that. It's going to overlap on here, but don't worry about that. We're going to fix that. Increase the line thickness to something about like that. Now I want it to have also a black outline and a red inside, but the problem is there's a lot of overlap. And if I were to do that, well, let me go Object, Expand, click OK. Now let's take a look. I'm going to hold the Alt key, spin my mouse wheel, see how it connected those? I don't want that to happen. So that's not how I want it. So Control Z. So there's a trick. The trick is to create a new stroke or a new brush stroke. Okay. To do that is you click on the rectangle tool and just draw something that looks about like that, although not as ugly. Let's click red for the inside and no outline. Then I'm going to click the line tool and I'm going to remove the outline. Oh, Control Z. It changed the properties. So we need to click away. So let's hold the Alt key, spin the mouse wheel. I'm going to click away. Now I'm going to go back to the line tool, change the outline, and change the fill, and then change the outline. Hold the Alt key, go in here. Now I'm going to go all the way to this anchor point, drag it all the way to the end, all the way to this anchor point, and drag it to the end. Now you should see it flush up to this rectangle. If you don't, hold the Shift key and click this other path, go up to Stroke, and make sure that the cap ends right where the line ends. Now we got an issue. I need to select these objects here, but I don't want to select these outer objects. Here's the trick. So click with my left mouse button and hold all the way over here till you surround this object. Then I'm going to hold the Shift key. I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to stop just short of that object. See that? Now I'm only selecting those objects there. So actually we can just drag this in and drop it. Now we should click on Pattern Brush, click OK, and don't worry about any of this stuff. Click OK. And I'm going to drag this. I'm going to just delete everything that was in there. I created this brush, so I'm going to click on this DNA and click right there. There we go. Now we have some of this going to the outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this thing called a clipping mask. Hold the Alt key, click with my left mouse button, and then release. So now I'm copying that circle. Okay. I'm going to remove that fill, and I'm going to drag it all the way back. Oop. I'm going to bring it right back here, right on top of this other circle. Click on this circle, right click, and arrange, bring to front. So you should see that circle is overlaying that DNA. That's an important point. The clipping mask has to be over the things that you're applying the clipping mask to. So what it's going to do is it's going to, if a line extends beyond this circle, it's going to make it invisible. So you only see what's inside the clipping mask. Okay, so now I have this circle selected. I'm going to hold Shift, left mouse button, click on that DNA. I'm going to go back to the path of this circle, right click, and make clipping mask. See how it chops it off right there? And it doesn't do a perfect job. So, and the reason why is because this, so let's move this out just a little bit. Okay, that's the clipping mask. Here's the circle. I want to make this to be, that stroke to be on the outside of the path. See, right here is on the inside of the path. And the clipping mask was exactly the same size as the circle, so some of this is going to extend into that. So anyways, just go stroke and make it to the outside right there. I'm going to click back on this object that has the clipping mask, and I'm going to drag it right on over, just like that. Okay, there we go. That's how you use a clipping mask. All right, so now I'm going to click within this object here. So now I'm inside the clipping mask, and you know that because it says clip group. And then I'm going to create the ribosomes. So let's go over here to the ellipse tool. Hold Alt key, spin mouse wheel. Hold the Shift key to make a perfect circle, and then release. I'm going to make it have a fill like that. And we click on the symbols, and sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. And I haven't figured out the pattern yet, but I'm going to drag it over here and see it's not working. So for some reason, I've got to remove that outside. And see, watch, now it's going to, well, still doesn't do it. That's interesting. I'm going to click on black again. See, now it applies. I don't know. I don't know what I just did, but for some reason, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I wish I could tell you the logic of it. You know, sometimes remove the stroke, remove the fill, add it back again. I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. I wish I could give you a better answer. It's unsatisfying that I can't give you a good answer, but sometimes it works. Just play around with it. If it doesn't work, another strategy is to go object expand and then drag it over, and sometimes that works for some reason. I don't know. I thought, you know, at one point I thought I figured it out, but it turned out it didn't. So anyways, oh, let me explain what I'm doing here. So I moved it over here to the symbol thing, and if you don't see that, of course, or any of the others, I go to window and go down to symbol and drag it over. Okay, and then I clicked over here to the spray tool, the sprayer tool, which applies that symbol randomly. So I'm just clicking and I'm dragging it around. Good, something like that. All right, let's add some in the center. Okay. And then let's add another. Let's just spray again, just like right around here. But this one, I'm going to click back to my selection tool, and I want to move it backwards into this scene. So I'm going to go Control and click on the left bracket, and I'm keep on clicking until it goes behind. Give it a little 3-dimension. All right, and double click to get out. Now, if you want to label this, you probably do. Click on the text tool, and let's go to Arial. And let's make it black fill. And we can type in capsule. Let's make it larger. Let's draw some arrows. So click on that line. We could have a black stroke. Let's increase the line thickness. And if you want to make an arrow, click on the stroke and go down to arrowheads. Click like that. Let's reduce the line thickness. Okay. Hold the Alt key, drag it over here. Alt key. Now, as one last feature, maybe you want to add a little more 3D aspect to this outside capsule. You can go to gradient and then click on this freeform gradient. Let's click on this and let's make it look like that. Click again here, here, and here. We're going to drag this one into the center and then click here. Let's lighten this up a little bit. So I double click on it, and then I'm going to click over here. I don't want to have it so bright. So that looks pretty good. Click over here, double click, make it a little more. Okay. And maybe one more click right there. And then I'm going to click on this and then click right here. And then also right here. Okay, so that gives a little more 3D aspect. One last thing before I forget. You want to make sure all of these lines have the same line thickness. So I'm going to select all of them like this. And actually, you won't do quite that much. Let's select all except that blue circle. Go up here to stroke. And let's increase the line thickness to 4. And then click on this circle. Oh, that's going to be the clipping mask. Let's click on this clipping mask, move it to the side. Oh, that's not the clipping mask. So let's move this up to 4 and move it back. So you just want to make sure all the lines in the drawing are the same line thickness, except for these little small things. They can be different. And that is how you draw a bacteria in Adobe Illustrator.